Chapter 13. How do you approach the audience from a stage presence? Love the audience more than the platform. Tim DeTellis. How do you approach the audience from a stage presence? For me, this is the most important chapter. Why? Because this builds the bridge of relationship between you as a speaker and the people who sit, listen, and hope to understand you. When I was getting ready to take the stage for TEDx Eustis, I was so excited because the message was so important to me. But there was one thought that kept running through my mind as the time approached. I had actually set a reminder on my phone with that single thought, and it had been going off since 9 a.m. that morning. Here's what it said. I love you, audience. My approach to the audience is that I love them. Let me get personal, actually very personal. I have 2 children that I love dearly, Luke and Kate. Honestly, they're the reason I wrote this book. I want them to have the opportunity to learn to communicate an idea or message with the world that could make it a better place. I love my kids. And that's how I look at the audience. They're like family to me. Don't I want the best for them? Don't I believe in their potential? Wouldn't I give them every ounce of my fiber, all that I am, so that they could fulfill their God-given potential? I believe in my own kids. I love them and want to pour into them in any way possible. This is exactly the approach I take with an audience. I once had an invitation to speak at a conference at Walt Disney World. I was giving a workshop there on the same day that a hurricane was hitting the island of Hispaniola. I serve as president of New Missions, and our mission work is scattered across that island, reaching the people of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, with 35 campuses and 10,000 students in school. As I took the stage to speak at the conference, I was distracted and concerned for the safety of all those who we serve. My attitude was far from loving that day. In fact, I felt a little bit more afraid, disappointed, and angry. I was mad that the people we serve on the island, people who already had problems and struggles, would have to face another level of disappointment and devastation. And for some reason, I approached my audience from a place of anger. It was almost as if I were punishing the audience, not even preaching at them. Now, I grew up with a dad who was a preacher. I understand when a preacher speaks with conviction or passion for the sake of your life. But I was almost threatening my audience at Disney that day. I was essentially telling them, I really want you to know this or else. I was wrong. And honestly, it was probably the worst talk I've ever given. It wasn't until the next day, when the hurricane had passed with no major damage, that I began to reflect on the workshop. I thought, gee, that was a missed opportunity. I didn't love my audience. I was mad at them and almost forcing the content down their throats. But I did learn a lot that day. Now, what's my approach to the audience? I love them like family. I want to share with them because I care about them. I want the best for them. I believe in them. Maybe I believe in them more than they believe in themselves. There have definitely been days when I've had to believe in my kids more than they believe in themselves. If you're a parent, you need to be your child's greatest fan. When you take the stage and look out across the audience, are you their greatest fan? Maybe you want them to be your fan, but it's going to take being their fan first if you ever hope for them to reciprocate. I learned my lesson the hard way, and now I approach my audience with this perspective. I love you. Call me crazy, but it's true. I want to give my audience a talk that inspires them, encourages them, and leaves them feeling better than when they walked in the door.